fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
You were meant to do hard things, but are you? Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again, Salt Strong Unchurched. This could be the most important message of the year for you. And why? It's because the only way to grow, the only way to get to the next level, the only way to become the best version of yourself is to do hard things. And yet so many of us, including yours truly, this is a very important one for me, is we take shortcuts, right? We love that easy button. I mean, there was, a whole ad in terms of commercials, and now you can even buy that little red button that says the easy button, right? Everyone wants the easy way. We all want fast food. We want stuff done quick and simple and easy, and we should. There's obviously some pros to that, but the only way to grow, and if we had that mindset that everything just needs to be super simple and easy, we're never going to grow. We're never going to get to that next level. We're never going to lose that weight. We're never going to find that perfect job. We're never going to get to wherever it is that you're trying to get this year. It's almost impossible. Look at every movie. Look, what's your best movie? Maybe right now we're in football season, Rudy, right? Can you imagine if Rudy didn't do any hard things? Do you remember how many people were laughing at Rudy if you guys watched this football movie? I mean, he had almost zero chance in the beginning, right? No one would have ever bet even a penny on him that dude was going to get to play a single down. And this is based on a real story, right? And the dude went against one hard thing after another. I mean, at one point in the movie, you're almost like, oh, how is this guy still going? And yet he just kept getting up and he kept getting up and he kept doing it and he kept showing up for practice and he kept working. I mean, every movie, even comedies. I mean, take Zoolander, right? That's one that we've talked about on the fishing side of things. Even he got laughed at, right? So normally it's something that we're fearing, right? And it could be the fear of other people laughing at us. It could be the fear of facing a giant. Go to the Bible. Every amazing story, every hero in the entire Bible, every hero in the world for that matter, has had to do something or many tough things. They had to do something hard in order to become the hero. Every single movie you can imagine. Think about it. There was a time where that person had to do something hard. They had to usually face a fear or face the fear of something laughing at them or face a giant in terms of like David and Goliath, right? I mean, that was incredibly scary. Can you imagine being a little shepherd boy and having to go face this massive giant of a man with armor and spears and all this that no one else wanted to face and they were scared to death of him? Of course, that wasn't easy. That was an incredibly hard thing. And yet here we are still talking about David, thousands of years later. Right? I mean, we have to do hard things. And I harp on this because last year for me, I didn't. I took a lot of, shortcuts, if you will. It doesn't mean I didn't work hard. I mean, we had a great year as a company, I would definitely say our best year as a family. There was definitely growth, but it could have been more. Looking back, I spent a lot of time at the farmhouse walking around and just thinking and praying. And man, I was like, there were certain times that I took, the short path, the shortcut, if you will, hit the easy button, right? Because we all like it. And there are times, especially when going gets tough, where you're just like, man, I wish it could just be easy. We've all said it. It's natural. But that's also the time when you're willing to push yourself that the magic happens. I even had it here just recently, which is a reason I kind of thought of this. I'm actually right now have COVID and tested positive for COVID the other day. And if you've had COVID, it obviously affects everyone differently, but I'm dealing with it right now, and I'm obviously still up and at 'em and talking, and I've been incredibly tired. It's going in these waves of just like mental and physical exhaustion is the best way to explain. I mean, just kind of like getting the flu, right? I mean, my body's beat, and all I want to do is take a nap, and I had promised someone that I'd get something over to them, right? It's also the beginning of the year, right? A lot of people are vying for my not just attention, but things that they need to get their job done. And it was something that probably could have waited, but I was like, I know I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. And I just did it. I pushed through it. I was so ready to go to bed. And instead, I changed my entire mindset, and I almost forced myself to believe I wasn't tired, and I pushed through, and it turning out awesome. It turned out better than what I was thinking, and I was kind of dreading doing this thing too. That's usually what happens, right? It's something that we're kind of dreading doing, and so what do? We either procrastinate or we take an easy route, which is a massive shortcut. And instead, I was so proud of myself because it was the opposite of what I've been doing. Kind of in December, I was kind of loafing off a little bit, and we were kind of coasting a little bit. We knew we were going to hit our company goal and hit most of my personal goals, and I really wish I just pushed through and done hard things. And now here I am, telling my kids that I'm sitting there loafing off. I don't know. This is just such an incredibly important one for all of us, and for me in particular, and my kids. And I'm telling them every time that they're coming across something that seems tough, do hard things. I'm just pounding it in their head because I want them to remember it when they're my age, because it's gonna come a time where we're gonna be faced with that decision, just like you are, right? Regardless of what it is, to do hard things, right? For some of us, you want to lose weight this year. That's tough. That takes a lot of self-control. For some of us, we want to, cut back on alcohol or stop drinking altogether, stop smoking, whatever it might be. That's tough. That's hard. That's a hard thing. That's a lot of self-control. Some of us getting rid of porn or just being a better person, a better husband, or a better wife, whatever it is, that's hard. It's easier said than done, right? It's hard. And so I would urge you, when the going gets tough, when you kind of feel like giving up or taking a nap or whatever it is, when you should be doing something, there's a time for rest. There's a time to celebrate. There's a time to relax. There's a time to have fun. But there's always also a time to do hard things. And when that is, right? There's also a time to take shortcuts when it makes sense. But deep down, right? If it's something that's been nagging you, maybe it's speaking to someone or telling someone the truth, or maybe it's, getting up and sharing your story, public speaking. I've been there before. I had a time at the beginning of COVID where I was asked to speak at a pretty sizable event. And honestly, I was a little bit scared, and that might shock some of you guys because you hear me talking, but talking in front of a massive group of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, about a certain topic, was about just anxiety and everything that I talked about in my book, Fishing for Happiness. And honestly, I hadn't really done it in a while, and I was a little bit scared and timid. And then COVID hit, and I just used that as an excuse to kind of get out. It was a valid excuse at the time. That was when COVID went really, really rampant and was kind of scary. No one knew what was really going on. And I never really, followed up, and shame on me. So that's going to be something that I'm going to pledge to do this year when I get the invitation to do something that scares me a little bit or a lot, that I'm going to do it if I know it's right. Obviously, it doesn't mean I'm going to waste my time and say yes to every single thing. But there's what I'm talking about right there. When there's times when you should be doing something. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that you need to do this. This is what God has intended you to do. That you want to get to this next level, and yet you kind of put it off, or you're scared, or whatever it is. I mean, it's natural, and that's when the magic happens. When you decide, I'm going to do a hard thing. It's the same with anxiety. I have been blown up. I'm talking about like next level blown up this holiday season. I'm not sure it's because of this explosion in COVID or just people, going through tough times, or just there's also even a lot of suicides in December. It's cold, and it's a weird time for some people, especially when it used to be a time of great celebration and fun. And it seems like, we're on quarantines and all this. It's been tougher. And I believe I'm seeing it firsthand that anxiety is at all-time highs, and people are getting anxiety attacks and these panic attacks at all-time highs. And I am getting hit up because people find that video and a couple podcasts I've done on anxiety, and I'm getting hit up every second. And you know what? The number one thing I'm finding out they're not doing. So I'll go back. I replied to every one of them because it was what I wish. I had reached out to a few people, a few doctors, and people that I saw online when I was in my lowest lows, and no one seemed to respond to me unless, I'd pay them money and come see them. And I wish someone would reply to me. And so I reply sometimes simple emails, and I'll just ask them, hey, tell me, have you tried this in terms of breathing? Have you tried all three of the things I talk about in the video, kind of the three secrets that help me finally overcome anxiety? And some of them have, some of them haven't. And the kind of the final question is, well, have you faced it? And everyone kind of, sometimes I don't even get answers back. Sometimes I do, and they're like, nah, not really. It's kind of like they're hoping it's going to go away. Well, here's the truth. It's not. It's not just going to all of a sudden go away one day. As much as I'd love to wish it would, and I did for many years, I would sit in my room and I missed out on parties and weddings and things that I wanted to go to, just hoping and pray it was going to go away. And I knew it would go away, and it did go away, but I had to face it. I had to do something incredibly hard. You have to face your fear, and it was horrible. It stunk. It was one of the toughest things I had ever had to do. But you have to do it, right? Just like David had to face Goliath, you have to face that fear. That was the only way I could grow. And yet most of these people aren't willing to do it. And until they do, they're not going to overcome it. And as soon as you do, just like anything, right? My son was scared to ride a bike at 4 years old. We all were, right? We were deathly afraid. What happens if I fall over? Most of us were. There's some of you are just crazy and, evil Knievils that just want to get out there and fly and don't worry about getting bruised up. But most of us don't like to flip over handlebars. And we have one wipeout and we're scared. I saw it in his eyes. He was scared, but I kept telling him, hey, let's keep pushing through. This is a hard thing. Let's do it, son. And he finally did it. And guess what happened? His confidence skyrocketed. Right now, he's like, I can do anything. I can ride a bike. Right? And that's incredibly hard for a 4-year-old or even 7-year-old. It's incredibly hard in their eyes, right? Just like for someone who's going through anxiety to have to face it and just sit there and let it go through you and just basically look at anxiety and say, you know what? You're hurting me right now, but I'm beating you. I am literally beating you. And the more you do that, just like any bully, right? Facing a bully is tough. It's doing something hard. But the more you run from that bully, regardless, anxiety is a bully. It's bullying your body. Regardless of what type of bully it is, the more you run from that bully, the more it's going to come after you. It's a fact. Rarely is it just going to go away. When it does go away, it's usually because you faced it and it realized, hey, I don't want to mess with this person. This is not why I enjoy bullying. Then and only then do they move away and find someone else. And I saw that with anxiety. As soon as I just made a pact with myself saying, I know what I need to do. I need to face this anxiety. It's incredibly hard. I'm going to face it. I'm literally just not going to, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, who have it, it's this fight or flight. That means not flying. That means fighting it. I'm talking just don't move your feet. Usually everyone, I was looking for an exit route anywhere I could. And that means planting your feet and saying, I'm going to sit here and deal with it. Even if I'm sweating profusely and feeling like I'm going to pass out and have a heart attack, I'm going to slow down my breathing. And I'm just, even if it takes me an hour, I'm going to sit here and fight it. And every time I did that, I was basically just punching the bully back in the face. And eventually it stopped messing with me. And every single person I've got to do those steps has overcome anxiety. That's doing a hard thing. So I hope you see what I'm talking about here. There's something in your life. I know there's something in all of our lives that we're facing, or as a challenge or something that we know we got to do to kind of get to the next level or where we want to go. But it's scary and it's tough and it's intimidating. But just know when you do those hard things, that's when you grow. The only way that you're going to become the hero of your own story, which should be all of our goals. We want to be the absolute best version of ourselves, right? God has this plan for us, and we can't get there unless we do hard things. He set up hard things for us to do, just like every single person in the Bible. Every single person, 100% of them that we're talking about today had to do some hard things. In many cases, it was multiple hard things. So do them, face them, keep that in the back of your head. I'm going to do hard things. I'm going to do hard things. And when you feel tired or you feel like you just want to procrastinate, I'm going to do hard things. It's amazing what you can get done. And it's amazing what it does for your confidence when you do some hard things. Even one hard thing, one thing that seemed hard to, in a year from now is not going to seem hard because you're doing bigger and stronger and more hard things. That's the whole point. That's how you grow. That's how you become a better person. So I hope this helps. I hope there's something that you can relate to this with right now. I know most of us have something. Everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, I kind of want to do this, but man, I'm really scared. Meaning it could be, hey, I want to start my own business, or I want to change jobs, or I want to move to a new city, new state, new country, whatever it is, right? I want to start my own podcast, right? I've had a few people have said that. I want to start my own YouTube channel. It's scary. I don't know where to begin. Do a hard thing. do a hard thing. And if it's facing anxiety, face it. Don't run away from it. Do a hard thing. Guys, I love you. I hope this helps. If do you have any questions or thoughts or things that I've missed on here, shoot me an email. I love getting emails from you guys. It's joe@saltstrong.com, joe@saltstrong.com. Otherwise, stay tuned. Got some really cool episodes. I've kind of been outlining a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, even bringing on some guests for this year, for these Unchurched episodes, and really, really stoked. And I enjoy these because it helps me become a better person, right? I'm trying to hold myself accountable through these things. And usually they're things that I'm kind of dealing with and struggling with myself. So that is going to be my mantra here. This 2022 is Joe, do hard things. Peace. I'm out.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was pain.